जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहार गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहार गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। शोदानंदन ब्रज जनदंत यमुना तीरावनचारि। यमुना तीरावनचारि। यमुना तीरावनचारि। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ जयो गिरिवरधारी। जयो गिरिवरधारी। शोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारि। यमुना तीरावनचारि। राधा माधव राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे। जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा सुभद्रा माँ जय सुदर्शन। जय गोपाल देव गोपाल देव जय गोपाल देव। जय गौरनिताय पतित पावन गौरनिताय। जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय श्रीपद जय गुरुदेवा श्रीपद जय गुरु महाराज। जय गुर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। जय गुरु महाराज श्रीपाद की जय। जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। संवेद गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। हरे कृष्ण। So we are continuing Bhagavatam Seva, text Canto 6, text number 12, verse number 21. Right? Kalvidam mahadascharyam yadraja prakrite stavam Vasudeve bhagavati satvatmane dridhamati. Kalvidam mahadascharyam yad raja prakrite stava Vasudeve Bhagavati Sattvatmane Dridhamate. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. O Vritrasura, demons are generally conducted by the mode of passion. Therefore, what a great wonder it is that although you are a demon, you have adopted the mentality of a devotee and have fixed your mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, who is always situated in pure goodness. Purport by Prabhupada. King Indra wondered how Vritrasura could have been elevated to the position of an exalted devotee. As for Prahlad Maharaj, he was initiated by Narad Muni, and therefore it was possible for him to become a great devotee, although he was born in a family of demons. But for Vritrasura, however, Indra could not detect such causes. Therefore, he was struck with wonder that Vritrasura was such an exalted devotee that he could fix his mind without deviation upon the lotus feet of Lord Krishna Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Buddhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavateruttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishiki Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Swarup Damodara Swaminiti Namine Nama Sadbhaktamane Manipurudbhavaya Cha Prabhupada Satvani Prachara Niratayate Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Desatharine Vancha Kalpatarurvesha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukkha Shamana Tam Namami Harim Param Sansara Sagare Magnam Deenam Mam Karunanide Karmagrahya Gritangam Mamuddhara Bhavarnavad Srimad Bhagavatam Pratyaksha Krishna Evahi Svikritosi Mayanata Mukhyartam Bhavasagare. So I think this fight is between our Vritrasura and Indra is happening already, and I think Indra is dropping his weapon, right, Vajra, and this demon, instead of attacking him immediately, like what most demons do, he was actually, encouraging him. You please pick it up and you fight, And then he was giving such a wonderful realization. Please kill me very soon, so that I can go back home, back to Godhead. And he's giving all these, very beautiful statements, My mind is hankering for the association of the Lord as pure devotees, just like how these small baby birds are, expecting the mother to come home. How these calves, these small calves, they're expecting the cow, their mother cow, to come and feed them. He's giving all these wonderful realizations. And Lord Indra, Devendra, he struck with wonder. Now, how is this possible that this person, a demon, and who's fighting with me, the demigod, the king of all the demigods, how has this person become, a elevated devotee like this? How has he has developed this kind of mentality? And what kind of mentality that, his mind is completely fixed without any deviation upon the lotus feet of the Lord, the Supreme Personality. To get your chanchal mind, the flickering mind to focus on something is very, very, very difficult. That's why in the Gita, the Lord is saying, Maneva Karanam Moksha Bante. Your mind is the cause of everything. Whether you want to stay in bondage or you want to be liberated. It's like, there is a material world this side with all the, all the plus and minuses. And then there is a spiritual world where there is only positive things. And the most wonderfully positive things. And what connects this material and spiritual world, the bridge in between, is actually the mind, the subtle mind. So you use your mind, you train your mind nicely, you can make it your best friend, and it can take you back to Godhead, to the spiritual world, to the spiritual realm. Or, you lose control of your mind, you allow your mind to dictate all the senses and your activities, your words, and then you can also go back into this, material degradation. You can go back to the material sphere, and perpetually you can rot in this material existence, punarapi jananam, punarapi mananam. This mind. Everything is based on this mind. But if somebody can focus his mind completely without any deviation on the Supreme Lord, it's something very, very amazing. It's very amazing. And how, especially in the body of a demon, one living entity is able to do that. And that also during the moment of war, when there's a big fight going on with all the demigods, this, made Indra become so, Mahadasharyam, big, great, wonderful thing. It's not ordinary thing. Why? Because the demons, they are so much influenced by the mode of passion and mostly ignorance. In the 16th chapter, Guru Maharaj actually asked us all to recite that chapter. And, as a thing, I've been doing it for many years. There is this whole, the distinguishing the difference between the divine and demoniac nature. There are two kinds of entities. Though Bhuta Sargo Lokesmin Deva Asura Evacha. So Krishna is delineating at first all the divine qualities, and he's saying, Arjuna, don't worry, Masucha Sampadam Devim. You have these divine qualities, the wealth of these divine qualities. You don't have to worry. Then he's saying, Asuram Pata Meshruno. You listen to me about the demoniac qualities, this Asuric qualities. And Krishna is listing them, and predominantly he is listing 6 qualities of the demons. When Guru Maharaj actually asked us to recite this one chapter every day, it was, he was saying, you please check and see how much you're developing the divine qualities and how much all these, demoniac traits are going away from you. You try to give up all these demoniac qualities and you see how much you are progressing in this divine qualities. So there is 6 qualities these demons possess. Dambo Darpo Abhimanascha, Krodha Parushyam Evacha, and then Agyanam. Damba, Darpa, Abhiman, Krodha, Parushyam, and Abhiman. 6 qualities. This marks a person who has demoniac nature. When I was a child, right, we used to think demons means they have this big teeth, scattered hair, very ugly clothes, they wear bones, garland of bones, and they are huge, they are very menacing. It's not like that. A person, as soon as he forgets the Supreme Lord and he begins to, indulge in, how do you say, materialistic life, this violence, this, how do you say, this propensity to become demoniac, it increases. As soon as you forget Krishna, you land up in duality, and generally you see all the bad things are very attractive. That's why most of us, the conditioned souls in the material world, they like to do all these nonsense things, because it is very attractive. And the good things are generally very difficult to do. So people are not very naturally inclined to them. They have to be trained. Everything is a question of training. So Krishna is saying, Damba. Damba means pride. Darpa. Darpa means arrogance. Dambo, Darpo, Abhiman. Abhiman means conceit. I'm this big, powerful, huge being. I can do anything I want. I'm the master. Everything is running because of me. This kind of conceit. Dambo, Darpo, Abhiman, and then Krodha, anger. The demons are typically very angry. Angry with the entire world, all the living entities. Then Dambo, Darpo, Krodha, Parushyam. Parushyam means very harsh. And then finally, Ajnanam. Ajnanam means ignorance. Pravritim cha nivritim cha janana vidur asura. They don't know what is a proper progressive way, or nivriti, what is a proper way to give up things. They don't know what to take, what to accept, and what to give up. So they are ignorant, poor fund of knowledge, Prabhupada used to say. And this demoniac nature, they simply want to exploit material nature, very selfishly, for their senses, for the sense gratification. And it invariably, this kind of exploitation, this demoniac nature, it leads to violence and cruelty. That is himsa. They will torture, they will do so much violence. And the Lord is very explicit in that. He is saying, Kshayayo Jagato Ahita. Akshaya means, something which doesn't get destroyed, always there. Akshaya Patra, unlimited. Kabhi kshaya nahi hota hai, means it is not lost, it is always there. But here they are doing such jagato ahita. Ahita means something which is very, very causing a lot of problems to the world. They do these kind of destructive activities that's meant to completely destroy the world. Hit means you do something for the benefit of the world. But these people, they do something, ugra karma, such horrible deeds. It's completely meant to destroy the world. So with this kind of nature, inside the body which is a demon's body, our Vritrasura mind has become somehow transcendental to all this. He's not displaying any of these traits, actually. Rather, he is encouraging Indra, you please kill me, Let my mind be focused on the Lord. Let me always get the association of the Lord and his devotees. Let me go back home to Godhead while you rot in this material world. You see? So, our Indra is very much struck with wonder. And in the purport, Prabhupada is saying, see, Prahlad Maharaj was initiated by Narad Muni, right? He got instructions actually while he was in the womb of his mother. His mother, Kayadu, Prahlad's mother, Kayadu, she was a wife of Hiranyakashipu, so she was abducted by these demigods and they were about to kill her, and she was pregnant. She was carrying at that time, she was carrying Prahlad in her womb, but somehow Narad Muni appeared and he saved Prahlad Maharaj, and he said, this child actually is a nice devotee, so you will not do anything to her. He gave her shelter in his ashram, and every day in his ashram, Narad Muni was actually giving discourses on the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Speaking about Krishna Katha, these are glories of the Lord. And the child within the womb, Narad Muni is so powerful, this transcendental vibration, the child within the womb was able to hear that. So, it was a sort of initiation. So obviously, Prahlad Maharaj, even though he was a small kid, he was always chanting Narayana's name, Narayana, Narayana. Everywhere you can see Narayana. His vision was so perfect because he has already been blessed by Narad Muni. So although born in a demon family, Prahlad Maharaj could become a great devotee. But what about this Vritrasur? He has just appeared from the fire, very horrific form, and as soon as he has appeared, immediately he started fighting with the demigods, trampling and killing so many of them. So naturally, one would conclude that this is a Pakka demon. But then all of a sudden, when Indra dropped the weapon, he's encouraging him, you pick up your weapon, He's displaying all the characteristics of a Pakka gentleman. And more and above that, he's advising Indra, you please kill me so that I can go back to Godhead. My mind is fixed, I want to go back. See, usually bad people, right? Bad people, they come disguised as good people. It's common because everybody accepts good people. You people who are nice, who are very sweet to you, everybody accepts. So that's why most of the bad people, they put on this very sweet, smiling face, they put on this mask, and then they come and they present to you like, oh, I'm such a nice person, Like Prabhupada used to say, these Mayavadis, they sweet talk you, very nicely, they talk to you in very sweet words. Oh, you're God, you're Bhagavan, you're the Paramatma, Om Namo Narayana, like that. And everybody, they love that. Somebody comes and glorifies you that you are God, you are the super soul, they become so happy. So generally, these bad people, they pose as very nice people, but the intention ultimately is to cause the downfall. This we see. This is happening everywhere. The world of cheaters and cheated. That's why Bhaktisiddhanta used to say, this is an unfit place for a gentleman. You can see this. You can see this commonly, especially in Kali Yuga, we can see that. But very rarely you see that a good person is coming in a, appearing like a bad, in a very bad disguise. So there is this very nice story in the, I think, Hitopadesha. This was actually Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj. He is our Acharya, Simha Guru. He is writing an article called Putana. Putana comes under false guru. She was a very horrible demoness, a witch, and she would kill small children and drink their blood. So when she came to attempt to kill baby Krishna, Lord Krishna was a small child, hardly few days old. She put on this very beautiful appearance. She practically looked like Mahalakshmi, goddess Lakshmi from Vaikuntha Loka. It's how beautiful she was. And she had a very nice smiling face, the lotus flower in her hand. And all these Vrajavasis, the gopis and gopas, they all thought, oh, she's probably the, goddess of fortune come to bless Krishna. They are all pure devotees of the Lord. Even they became bewildered. Seeing her external appearance, they just allowed her free access. You go wherever you want. Blinded by that beauty. And she just walked in, she picked up baby Krishna and, in a very motherly way, she was trying to feed Krishna poison. So in that article, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he's talking about a story. The blind vulture and a cat. There's a story there. It has very nice quotes, so I will go through it as fast as possible. See, on the banks of the river Ganges, there was a cliff. And on the top of the cliff, there was a very big, huge fig tree. Now, in the hollow of the tree, there was a vulture whose name was Jarat Gava. And this old vulture, he had no eyes or no claws. Somehow, by a twist of fate, this had happened. Now, out of pity, those other birds which were staying on the tree, they used to take a little portion of their own food and give it to that vulture to keep him alive. They were kind. Generally, the vulture feeds on these birds, but seeing his condition, those other small birds, they took pity and they gave him food. So, and he used to stay in the tree, and he used to protect that, the other young fledglings. the fledgling birds, he also used to protect, because they see this huge vulture, the other animals and other predators, they get scared. But there was a cat. His name is Dirgha Karna. He came there with the intention of eating all those, those baby birds, tender flesh. And, as soon as they saw the cat coming, all these baby birds began to, cry out. And immediately this Jarat Gava, he said, "Who's coming?" And as soon as he saw the vulture, this cat, Dirgha Karna, he became very afraid. He said, "Oh, now I'm dead. He's going to tear me to pieces. But I'm too close. I cannot even run away now. So whatever is happening, let it happen. I will try to gain his faith and let me go near him." So he came near to the vulture, and he's offering his respected obeisances. "Respected sir, I'm saluting you." The vulture is asking, "Who are you?" And Dirgha Karna is saying, "I'm a cat." Okay, immediately the vulture is saying, "You're a cat, you go away or you'll be dead." No, the cat is saying, "Please listen to me. If I should be killed, you decide, whether I should be killed or, what should be done with me. But please listen." And what he's saying, "Jati matrena kim kaschid vadyate pujate kvachit. Vyavaharam parignyaya vadaya pujyo atha bhavet." Saying, why should one be killed or worshipped simply based on, one's jati? Jati means one's caste or one's birth. First examine the behavior of that person, and then you decide whether you want to kill me or not. Yeah, it sounds very reasonable. So the vulture is asking, "Why have you come here?" Okay, that's fine. Why have you come here? See, the cat is saying, "I'm staying on the banks of the Ganges. I take bath in the most purifying Ganga Maya. I'm a pakka vegetarian. I observe celibacy. I follow this Chandrayana Vrata. It's a very, very, very difficult fast where every day the food is diminished by one mouthful. You take a nice big plate of prasadam, and every day you reduce one handful of that, one mouthful. And then after that, you increase it as the moon, waxes and wanes. 15 days when the moon is going down, and 15 days when the moon is coming up. So accordingly, you decrease and you increase one mouthful." And then he's saying, "I'm very religious, I'm knowledgeable, I'm very loving and very, very trustworthy person. So I have come to you so that I can hear all these religious principles from you, because you are so advanced in knowledge and, in age. All these birds here, they were praising your glories, they were honoring you so much that, you've dedicated your life for studying and meditating upon morality. And because you are a knower of religion, how can you kill me? I am your guest. I am your atiti." You see, very nice, sweet words. And then the cat is quoting more verses from the Shastras. He's saying, even if an enemy comes to your house, you should treat him like a guest. Like the tree, the tree, even a person is coming to cut it or kill it, the tree will not refuse to give shade. It will still give shade to that person. It will, protect him from the sun. Then Dirgha Karna is saying, even if the guest is a child, young child, an old man, or youthful person, he should be given all respect, because a guest is worshipable like a guru for everyone. And people who are very saintly, who are very gentlemanly, they will give the mercy to even people who don't have any good qualities. Like the moon, it doesn't refuse to give moonlight even to the house of a low-class Chandala. And if a guest is leaving somebody's house, if this Atiti is leaving your house very dissatisfied, he's taking away all your piety of the householder. And in return, the householder will take all his sins from the guest. Even if a very low caste man is attending the house of a very high class Brahmana, still he should be well received, because Atiti Devo Bhava, he's an embodiment of all the demigods. You see, such a wonderful way. And the vulture is saying, a cat likes to eat flesh and it will kill the small birds. There are many small baby birds living, therefore I said like this. So the cat is bowing down, he's touching the ground and he's calling, the Bhumi Mata as his witness and Krishna as his witness, and he's saying, I'm completely renounced. I have overcome lust and I have observed the most difficult Chandrayana Vrata, Chandrayana Vrata. I know Shastras, see, but although scriptures say so many things, but they all unanimously accept that ahimsa paramo dharma, ahimsa, non-violence is the topmost. So he's giving more further statements, those people who are free from violence, who tolerate everything, who give shelter to all these people are candidates for attaining heaven. I'm giving you the translation because, they'll be short of time. And then the distress one feels when one's life is in danger, you should use that to understand the unhappiness of others in similar circumstances. So one should abstain from killing others. And then one can fill his belly with grass and leaves, which is naturally found in forest. Now, what is the need to commit sins, just to stuff your stomach? We say papi pet ka savala. Because of the stomach, you're getting hungry, you have to do so much sinful activities, somehow or the other, to feed your stomach. But he's saying you will get all these grass, leaves, and something naturally in the forest. So, with all these sweet statements, this cat was able to convince. Misplaced faith. The faith didn't come in the beginning, but then when it came, it was misplaced on the wrong person. So the vulture became confident. And then, this Dirgha Karna, because he cannot see, and Dirgha Karna, he allowed that this cat, Dirgha Karna, to stay in that tree. And every day, this fellow naturally, cat, what is his intention? He would go very quietly, he would catch few baby birds, he would bring them to a place and he would eat them very nicely. So the mother birds, right, the parents of those birds, they began lamenting and they were searching for the young. So after like this incident going on for a week or so, now when the cat came to know that these birds are searching for him, immediately he ran away from the hollow in the tree, he ran away. He left the place. And then the birds, they came, they see all these bones of their babies there, and they thought that this vulture had actually eaten their babies. You see? So they all attacked and they killed that vulture. So although he was innocent and he was a well-wisher of these birds, he paid the price, for this mistake, for this folly of giving shelter to the wrong kind of person. So what is the moral that Bhaktisiddhanta was saying is that, there are many false pretenders who actually, they join religious movements. And they see this as a very easy way to maintain themselves. This is going on everywhere in the world. But Prabhupada is making this comment that a devotee should have intelligence to know who is deviating. And you should surrender by your intelligence, but don't surrender your intelligence. You see, it's a very, very nice letter Prabhupada is writing to Balimardan, one of his disciples. Surrender by your intelligence, but don't surrender your intelligence. Because ours is a movement, it is not one individual person. There are many people. And if you're not able to distinguish, who is a devotee, who is a demon in disguise, who is a false person, then, you have already surrendered your intelligence. It's not Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. One should be very, very careful on that. And there is this, again, this very wonderful statement made by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Just a second. Yeah. He's saying a person, just mark the statement, it's a very important one. A person who entertains any partiality for untruth is unfit to chant the Kirtana of Sri Hari. You entertain any partiality for untruth, you become unfit to chant the holy names of the Lord, for doing the Kirtana of the Lord. It's such a very glorious statement, as long as a person is harboring this partiality, in the thing that asat vastu, right? As long as one is entertaining a partiality for these kind of things, immediately that person becomes unqualified to do Harikirtan. But still, Prabhupada and Bhakti Siddhant, they were not blind, to all such kind of pseudo spiritualists. Still, they welcomed all of them into the ranks of the movement. And why did they do that? Naturally the wonder comes. Why did they do that? If you're contemplating that such kind of powerful preachers, they how can they do this? But the reason behind is they had two secret weapons to overcome all these demoniac tendencies. One is a holy name, and the other one is a Bhagavatam. They were very, 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 very fully conscious of, completely aware of the supreme potency of these two very purifying items, for purifying all the wrongs, this demoniac nature, and for establishing the truth. Said, mantras, tantras, chidram, desha kalarha vastuta, sarvam karoti nishchidram, anusankirtanam tava. There may be discrepancies in pronouncing the mantras, observing the regulatory principles, and moreover, there may be discrepancies with regarding to time, place, person, paraphernalia, circumstances. But when your Lordship's holy name is chanted, everything becomes faultless. So, as long as the holy name and this Bhagavatam is prominent in the society, then all these mistakes, ultimately, all of them will be somehow or the other corrected. Prati Shlokam, Tasmad Visargo, Janataga Viplavo, Bhagavatam is saying, Yasmin Prati Shlokam Abadhavati Api, Namani Anantasya Guno Ankitani Yat, Shrinmanti Gayanti Grinanti Sadava. So, although sometimes you may mispronounce the Sanskrit verses, you may not fully understand the power of these mantras or the vibrations. Still, because it is completely transcendental, it will purify you. And Prabhupada is saying it will bring about a revolution in the misdirected lives of the modern civilization. So, although they knew, they were still giving, protection to all the wrong kind of people. But in the case of Vritrasura, he never had any chance to do all these things. He just appeared from the fire, and then immediately fight is going on. So how was it possible that such a person, without any chanting, without any tapasya, without any prior association, how was a person, specifically in a demon's body, how was this person able to have this undeviated focus on the lotus feet of the Lord and his devotees? This is something very amazing. Something very, very amazing. That's why Indra was struck with wonder. So actually, my little realization, my thing is that we should not be hasty to judge people actually. There are all kinds of devotees actually, and we don't know where they stand. We don't know where they stand. So we should not take the position of a judge, and because we have some power, because we have some post, one should not take this take this kind of mentality that because I am doing the proper thing, I am the proper person to judge this person. You will never know. You will never know how far advanced that person is or how fallen that person is. We can actually never know. So the Shastra is saying you don't judge people, like Jesus used to say, you hate the sin, not the sinner. Don't judge people, but you hate the sin. But we have to continue our duties, and somehow we have to cooperate, and we have to carry on the activities so that not only we are progressing, but those others also, who may be not up to that level, they are also given an opportunity to make progress. See, even a child, right? An innocent child, he will know if this person is actually, just by looking, sometimes, they can understand, oh, this person will harm me, or this person is, he's going to do good for me. And they will immediately cry. Now, what to speak about grown-up, mature people, right, who are doing devotional service? You can understand how far this person is into devotion and how far he is not. But still, the mercy factor, right? Because Krishna is merciful, but the devotees are more merciful than the Lord. That is a special quality. The Lord will not come and hand over himself to you. He's not going to do that. But the devotees, these pure devotees who are so merciful, they will hand over the Lord. Here is Krishna, you please take. So one should always be in that mood of extending this mercy to even people who are very unqualified, people who may not be following things very nicely. This mercy factor is the main ornament of a devotee. Because if there is no mercy, there is nothing. We say prasadam, right? Prasadam means actually the mercy of the Lord. As soon as we say prasad, we think, eating prasadam, fill a belly. But real prasadam means the mercy of the Lord. And much more stronger and more powerful is the mercy of a devotee. So Indra is amazed. How is this person, without any contact with any devotee, in such a kind of demoniac form, how is he able to have such a devotional quality? Mind completely focused on the Lord. 1 second. Somebody is knocking on the door. Yeah. So this thing is there. This thing is feature is that. Sarima, so you see this quality, this very wonderful quality of having an undeviated mind, right? Mind becoming undeviated, always fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord. This quality is not something very easily developed. Sometimes people have to spend millions of lifetimes, actually. Millions of lifetimes simply to bring about that ekantika, ekantika bhakti, that exclusive, one-pointed focus and, non-deviating devotion to the Supreme Lord. It's not easy thing. Bahunam janmanam ante. Krishna is saying after many, many lifetimes, Bahunam janmanam ante jnanaman, somebody who has real knowledge, mam prapadyate, they come and surrender to me. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. Unless you come to the point of full surrender to the Supreme Lord, there is no question of devotion. And that thing, to sell your head, to put your head at the feet of one person, trusting him completely, this thing we don't generally do. Even if it is a supreme person. It is not something very easily accomplished. That's why, every day these wonderful, amazing qualities of the Supreme Lord are being recited in the Bhagavatam. How the Lord is merciful, how the Lord is so wonderful, all this Adbhuta, it is, Mahat Adbhuta, there's a sweetness, these wonderful qualities of the Lord and his devotees, so that somehow or other we'll be inclined to go perform this surrender. At one point in our life, we will be able to surrender to the Supreme Lord. And gradually, we will overcome this flickering mind and we will be able to place that at the lotus feet of the Lord. So this Bhagavatam is aiming at that, this distinction of the human form of life, the topmost distinction you can achieve. This opportunity is being present through the Bhagavatam and through the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. So I will stop here. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Any questions, any suggestions, any comments, you can please. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, brother. So, thank you for this wonderful class. Anyone is having any question, they can raise the hand and ask His Grace Madan Manohar Prabhu. Hare Krishna, brother.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So regarding the qualities and reciting daily, the 16th chapter you are mentioning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and at that time you mentioned that demoniac nature is to enjoy or to lord over this material life.
Material.
Yeah, yeah. So somehow or the other, most of the scientific discoveries or the technology is going in that direction. So,
Yeah.
what is your say on that?
See, this is not what I'm saying. This is what a scientist was saying. Science solves problems, but it creates 20 more. So we don't say science is bad, right? We don't say science is bad. But what we are trying to say is that you should know, whether the science is helping you to make progress in the right direction or whether it is, leading you astray. This one should be intelligent enough to understand. So you're saying modern technology is all taking us towards this materialistic comforts and enjoyment. But yes, if it is giving you facilities, that doesn't mean you should go full mode and enjoy them, right? It is always good to make things nice. There is no harm in that. But Prabhupada said, simple living, high thinking. This is our motto. Janma sartha kari kara paropakar. If you're just going to spend your life simply enjoying all the conveniences presented by modern science without thinking that I am progressing or I'm going towards perfection, and let me help the others also, if you're not thinking like that, then what is the use of that science? You'll simply please the senses, and you are not the senses actually. The senses are simply covering you. You are spending so much hard-earned human energy, God-given human energy on pleasing the body and the senses, but ultimately everything is going to be destroyed. So you think scientifically, is that a proper use of my energy? And do I really need all these things? But the acharyas, they said yukta vairagya, anything you have, anything and everything, because it is the energy of the Lord, it should be dovetailed or engaged in the service of the Lord. But when we don't know the proper art, this is why we go to a guru, we take guidance of the superiors, acharyas, what should be done. You see, Maharajas, there are certain Maharajas who say, don't go on Facebook, don't use all these apps. And those devotees, those boys, they have the small phones, just regular phones for calling, not the Android one with all these different, Twitter, Snapchat, this, that, and everything. Because, fledgling, it's very easy to be diverted. But then when one become little mature, okay, you can use this, you use your WhatsApp for preaching to your friends, you preach to your families, your relatives, your friends, so many people, the society, students, you can college students, you can form a group, you can talk to them. Like yesterday, we were having this diary science, our Bangalore, this diary institute. So many boys were there. It was a very wonderful program. And you see, you can use science in that way also. This is called dovetailing, how to engage even these things which apparently can lead us astray, how these things can be engaged in the service of the Lord. But if you're not expert in the art, you better stay away from it. And Guru Maharaj was going one day to the airport. I was sitting in the car, and other devotees from Bombay were there. So Maharaj asked me, Madan, so you like to go to foreign? I still remember that very vividly. And I told Maharaj, yes, Maharaj, I'd like to go once and see the place and come back. Because, Prabhupada started the movement there. You met Prabhupada there. So, I just want to go see the place. And Maharaj said, you see and you come back. Don't stay there for long. I still remember. And even before the Rome conference, when I was in Radhakund, Guru Maharaj asked me, would you like to come attend the conference? Because I've never been to any of Guru Maharaj's conferences. In 96, the centennial year, I was not able to go. And then Maharaj said, no, you stay here, you take care of the temple, this is better service. So you see, the person sometimes he may not be very qualified, then these things are not these tasks are not given to him. I take it as a blessing of Guru Maharaj, but I just wanted to see him in action, in a scientific setting. I was not fortunate like that. I could never see that. The only conference I was able to attend was in, Vrindavan. Guru Maharaj started this first ASSQ, but that also I just came, I just heard his lecture for maybe half an hour or something, and then, I had my seva back. I came back to Radhakund. So sometimes, when a person is, not ready for these kind of things, the Lord knows, and because Krishna knows, Krishna gives that knowledge to the Guru that this person can handle so much, and you are taught accordingly. But our problem is when we want to do something, we always do it independently, without consulting. At least we must put in a word and consult, please, this is my thing, this is my proposal, should I go ahead with it? And when you get the blessings of your superiors, especially Guru Maharaj, it becomes very wonderful. You become very successful in whatever you're doing. So this would be my advice, try to restrict your usage to the minimum. And if at all you're using it, you get the order or the sanction or the blessings of your superiors and go ahead with it. Then they can protect you. Otherwise, it will be very difficult. Independently, you do something, you will end up facing a lot of problems. And I'm talking from experience.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. And to have a question by our Srikant Prabhuji in chat. It says, Indra, even after realizing that Vritrasura is a demon, eventually kills him. How come?
Yeah. See, it's a matter of duty. Sometimes Indra, he had already offended his guru, a topmost Brahmana. Now, for that, the consequence of that was later on he bought another Brahmana to officiate as a priest, and he had to kill him. So already one major fault, then it became a crime. Killing a Brahmana is like capital crime, not ordinary crime. And now he has to do something even worse. He has to kill somebody who is a pure devotee, although he is in the body of a demon. Vishwarupa, his priest may not have been fully godly realized. But our Vritrasura, although he is in the body of a demon, he is a Mahabhagavat. He is a pure devotee. But Jivo Jivasya Jivanam, right? One living entity, ultimately, this is the order of thing that, Krishna arranges so that one person will kill another person or one person will protect another person. We were discussing this yesterday in the 15th chapter of the first canto, how these Pandavas are retiring timely, right? They are giving up everything and going. And Arjuna is saying, it is Krishna ultimately who destroyed the entire Yadu dynasty. And, sometimes the Lord is arranging these kind of things because who can kill, Vritrasura? Such a powerful demon, who can kill? They had to go request the help of Dadichi Muni, get his bones and fashion a, very wonderful weapon. And then, Indra is losing that weapon also, but still Vritrasura is encouraging it. Do it. Come on, let us fight. It's our duty. Somebody has to become the, final winner. So he's afraid. You will see in the further verses how Indra is very afraid to do this act. I'm already suffering because of killing a Brahmana, Brahmahatya. Now I have to kill a pure devotee, Mahabhagavat. What will become of me? You see, because he knows. Indra is not stupid. He's Devendra. He's a king of the demigods. So naturally, he must be having sufficient knowledge. And he's also a very nice servant of the Lord. So he's hesitating to do that. But, somebody has to do, somebody has to put the chop means, and, ultimately the weapon is in his hand and he's a king. It's his duty to protect his subjects. So, he has to go do the deed. And again, he's facing reactions for that. That's why this material world is not a fit place for a gentleman. It's not easy. It's not at all easy. I can tell you so many instances, like when, I was serving in Radhakund as, the co-manager, And so many devotees, they wanted to come there, sannyasis also, and because I didn't have permission, I couldn't let them stay. So many, I don't know how to say, that it's very, very difficult situation sometimes. How to choose to do the right thing or to do the wrong thing, this decision, to take a decision, especially when you're holding a responsible post, it is very, very difficult. What to speak about Devendra, the king of heaven, but it has to be done, this is what has to be done, this is a purpose, and then he had to do it. But he was hesitating so much to do it. There are so many devotees who used to be very sick, and they come there and they want to leave their bodies, but sometimes we have to send them back home. You please go. This is Guru's order. This will be a problem if you're staying here. And you don't know, it really hurt a lot actually. You will be placed in positions like that. But ultimately, it is Guru and Krishna who is going to save us, and we have to obey their orders. We have no other option. Even if you offend your Guru, it is your Guru who is going to save you. Gorgond Maharaj was saying, Bhumil Skalita Padam, Bhumil Avalambanam. You slip and you fall on the earth, you will fall not in heaven, right? You will not fall in the sky, you will fall on the earth. The earth only will protect you. You may be, making a mistake and then you may be falling down, but still it is the earth which will protect you. So ultimately we rely on the instructions of, our Guru Varga. They are the only ones who can actually save us. So Indra, his job, his order, you kill this person. The Lord himself has said, you go get the bones from Dadichi Muni and then you make it a Vajra, use his weapon and then you kill him. So he had to follow the instruction. And he had to face the consequences also for killing a pure devotee.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Yes. Respect Maharaj, please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, Dandavat Maharaj, Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam. Very absorbing and interesting class. You told very nice stories of the cat and vulture. Very nice. And the conclusion of the story is that one should be intelligent to understand who is right, who is wrong, or who is saintly or not. And then later on you said we should not judge. I'm confused with your equivocal instructions. Number one. Number two, the person who is in a position, right? One should not accept a position unless he can, deliver his dependents, which means he has to judge. And the person who is in the position, if his subordinates are doing some mischief, what should he do? Should he judge or not? Especially if the mischief is disturbing to others, is second level. And what the person in the position should do if the persons subordinate to him disobey him?
Maharaj has put me on the spot. Okay. See, there are so many things which, you can say very nicely, but like Prabhupada used to say, very simply, do the needful. So I'll rather stick to that because, we don't know exactly all the time, place and circumstances, whether, this person should be corrected, he should be judged. We may not know the complete scene. But if you feel that, I know these things and, by Guru Maharaj's mercy, this is what has to be done, then, Maharaj, I would strongly recommend you do the needful. There will be no fault on your part. There will be no fault on your part. If you're doing something to, save the thing, to help that person progress, as well as that the society should move very smoothly, you should definitely do that. Because this giving protection to the wrong people is what always lands up in problems, we bring the thing, we put the weight on our own head. This is what happens. But devotees are merciful, at the cost of their own life, they sacrifice so that the other person, one day, along the line, somewhere this person will realize, See, devotees generally, they are not appreciated when they are alive. They are always a constant source of problem. They tell you, don't do this, don't do that, don't enjoy, do like this, do like that. There's so many things. Nobody likes them actually, especially if you are holding a post. Nobody loves you. But then, although they are not liked very much, and they are not appreciated when they are living, when that person leaves and goes, everybody will sing his glories. See, this person always, he considered my welfare. He was always guiding me in the right direction. But, I was so stupid, I couldn't do that. They will realize, people are human, they still have a heart, some way down the line, but the way we present things, that is also very important actually. This is what I feel. You may sometimes use a thorn to remove another thorn, you can do these things, but the way you do it, they shouldn't feel the prick. It should be done in a very, how do you say, in a very sweet way, that they shouldn't feel like retaliating. Oh, this person has done this to me, let me take revenge, like this mentality shouldn't come. So from my side, personally, I would say that, you do the needful, whatever you think, and that time, place, circumstance is the needful, you will have to do it. Because this is not one small thing that you're protecting. It is something which is very huge. The generations, so many generations will have to carry on this thing. So whatever is needed for that, you go ahead, you do it, Maharaj. Even if it is, like Gorgon Maharaj, he would cut the shika and he would chase away devotees. He would do that. But to my knowledge, Guru Maharaj never did that. Maharaj keeps quiet. I've seen that. He has his dignified silence. He just keeps quiet. But he doesn't say anything. He doesn't do anything. I've seen that. So many instances. This made me love him so much more because of this one quality. I've never heard a harsh word from him. So he was always giving you an opportunity. You somehow come and you engage like that. So if we can carry over that quality, people will understand. I surely think that at one point of time they will realize that this person is really saintly. We shouldn't do all this mischief like that. They will realize. They will definitely realize. Thank you, Maharaj. I don't know. Maybe I've spoken more than I should. Or maybe Govinda Madhav Maharaj can say something more to enlighten us.
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Because I'm the most unfit person to comment on this. I couldn't handle it.
If you do the needful, then they will cite the scripture. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful.
Dandavad Maharaj.
Well, you said everything. Maharaj asked the perfect question, and you gave the perfect answer. So we can have a book: perfect question, perfect answer. Especially when authority, this authority is a very critical thing. So, and then it becomes an obligation on the part of the authority to make the judgment, and the beneficiary is always the person who is judged. Actually, in our spiritual culture, one who is judged is the truly blessed, because judging is not a very palatable thing, and it requires a tremendous daring on the part of the person who judges. So it depends on the outlook of who is the recipient. It's just only because let the authority judge, but one who is being judged, let him just take in a positive way.
Positive.
Then it becomes a most wonderful thing, because ultimately everybody is an instrument of Krishna. There is a beautiful shloka in Bhagavad Gita. Yesterday I just couldn't express. You gave me the opportunity. It's in the sixth chapter, 2 sloka 5 and 6, both very wonderful. Uddhared atmanatmanam, uddhared atmana uddhare atmana atmanam, natmana avasadayed. Atmaiva atmano bandhur, atmaiva ripur atmana. So our mind becomes the real person in the side. If the mind hates to be judged, then it can degrade us like anything. And if the mind can take the judgment in a positive way, then it can elevate the soul to all the way, because so mind becomes the critical thing. It can, as you described. So ultimately, at what conscious level a person is, because everybody, one who is judging is also playing the role of Krishna. You know? Everybody is an instrument of Krishna, but who notices it? One who notices it, then he becomes the beneficiary. And one who forgets this, then he misses the point. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. This is the thing, everybody knows we are imperfect, right? But if somebody is going to come and point out that imperfection, Prabhu, this is what you're doing wrong, immediately we become offended. Oh, I'm all perfect now, all of a sudden you become all perfect. It's not easy, it's not easy to admit your faults in front of others, especially to authorities. It is a very difficult thing, but somehow this is a thing, these two powerful weapons, this Nam Sankirtanam and this Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, the service to the Mahabhagavata. One day we will come to that position of understanding that I'm very insignificant living entity, with thousands and billions of faults. So somehow this association of devotees, their instructions, their guidance is what is saving me. So when comes to that realization, then he is the most fortunate person. Actually. They can, then his real good fortune comes, because then he learns to surrender. Surrender to that thing, surrender to the devotee, surrender to the Lord. Unless you surrender to a devotee of the Lord, you cannot go there and surrender to the Lord Himself directly. That's not possible. It's not possible. So this is the thing. This mode of surrender, we learn how to surrender to these nice devotees first. And then progressively, ultimately, we come to the stage of surrendering to the Lord. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Well, our one point, the opportunity given to us in the present lifetime, or the present opportunity, it is like the shortest and surest cut to success. Our retaliation is due to the deep-rooted conditioning of resisting. But if we can appreciate that in one shot, we are going to get over unlimited lifetimes conditioning. One who acknowledges the beauty and the purity and the absolute nature of Sri Guru, I think this life is sufficient to get over everything, no matter what conditioning. So this connection of Sri Guru is the most potent thing. It will help us to evolve. It will help us to mold ourselves. It will help us to tolerate anything, because it is our time. This is my opportunity, and I will not let it be spoiled by anyone. Everyone is only helping me. Only I should be able to see it. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Maharaji. Amritaji is having a question. Amritaji, please.
Pranam, all the Maharajas. The lecture is really very wonderful. My question is that, yes, it is very important for any devotees or for any human beings, the mercy of Sri Guru, the mercy of pure devotees, because it is more important, because the mercy of Lord is flowing upon them who is surrendered completely under the lotus feet of Sri Guru. But in this material world, who are not very accustomed to Srimad Bhagavat or this type of feeling, then how we are able to convince them that the mercy of Shri Guru is very important rather than the mercy of Lord?
So Mataji is very kind. She wants to deliver everybody, right? This is a Vaishnavi quality, this is a quality of a nice Vaishnavi. Thank you, Mataji. It's a very wonderful question. See, the thing is, like I remember this one very nice thing, I don't know who was it who spoke that, but this, I think it was Maharaj. He was saying, in life you deliver one person, at least you deliver one person. And if that one person is you, your life is successful. See, Prabhupada made so many disciples, but he said, if I get one pure devotee, he said, one pure devotee, if I can do that, then, my mission is successful. He didn't say, if I make, 12 Mahajans, if I make 100, people like that. He said, one pure devotee. So, see, my thing is that you try to be a nice devotee yourself, and simply because you are a nice devotee, automatically all these other people will be convinced. This is my understanding. Because when you're going and you're speaking to them and you yourself are not fully convinced on that topic, your words will not carry weight. This is what generally happens. You can repeat what your guru is saying, but if you're not following it very nicely, these words will not carry weight. So there is no question, because you are not convinced yourself. How can you go convince others? There is no question of that. You have some change, you have 1,000 rupees, you can give somebody 100 rupees, but when you are Kangal, you don't have anything yourself, and where is the question of giving? So see, my realization is that you let these people, those who are the Guru Varga, to do the job, and on your side you follow the instructions, and you as far as whatever little realization you have, something that you're able to follow yourself and fully convince yourself, this much you can say to the others. This much you can say to the others. We are not here to change other people, we are here to change ourselves actually, and to help others change themselves. This change is something internal. It has to come from you. 1,000 people can come and talk to me, but if I don't want to change, I will not change. There is no question. It is your own self. It is called self-realization. You have to do that on your own. But we can help people, that's all. So you change yourself, and simply by being a shining example of a nice devotee, automatically people will be influenced. They will come to you for help. You do whatever you can. My Guru Maharaj has told me like this, you follow this, your life will be successful. This much we can say. Yata Shakti, how much your realization allows you, that much you say. You don't try to go beyond that. Don't do that. Because if you are not very qualified, we cannot bear that weight. We will not be able to take it. So one has to be very careful. Okay, my guru is doing, I've also become guru, let me also do it, means then, it's going to be really difficult. But to your realization, whatever you have understood, you can speak that much, that is welcome. And you leave this preaching and other things to the pure devotees. They will do that. They will do that, because their purity is very attractive. Nice Vaishnava, if he simply smiles, the person can become a devotee. Just smiling at one person is enough to make him a devotee. This is how attractive they are. So you don't have to worry. A lot of pure devotees will come. On your part, you become a nice pure devotee, and then simply by your presence, you will deliver many people. Become a wonderful Vaishnavi, and then these things will happen. So this is what I would suggest. This is my understanding. Our problem is we have nothing. We are all beggars. So beggars cannot be choosers, they say. You cannot choose. We are just recipients of mercy. Whatever mercy you get, you can hand it over. This much we can do. Like messengers, just pass it on. So this is my understanding, Mataji. Thank you. But that's a very interesting question. Very nice question actually, because you are concerned. The devotees are naturally concerned with the welfare of others. So but this is my understanding. Maybe other Maharajas can add something to it.
Yes, if I am what I am understanding, that if we are able to connect them as much as possible to the pure devotees, then it will be beneficial for them.
Yes.
that
Yes. Yes. You have done your job. Yeah. Then you have done your job. Yeah. So we are connecting them to Guru Maharaj,
Thank
to
you.
Prabhupada, to all the acharyas. So that way their life will be delivered. Yeah. That's a wonderful realization. Yes, Mother.
Yeah, thank you, Madan Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Maybe we can conclude for
Wind up,
that.
huh?
Yeah.
Jai Guru
Hare
Maharaj,
Krishna.
Srila Sripad ki jai. Jai Jagat Guru, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
All the BI Maharajas and Prabhus and Matajis and all the Vaishnava devotees ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you very much.
His Grace Madan Manohar Prabhu ki jai. Thank
Jai,
you,
jai,
Ananta,
jai.
for joining. See you all in tomorrow's class. Hare Krishna.